get ready to rumble it.
Let's get ready for
Rebels! Let's bring it out, shall we? He's Ezra! He is a rebel! He's Taylor Gray! What's up, Star Wars Celebration? Come on, let's hear it for him. She is Sabine! Ah, the ladies love her, the guys dig her. She is Sircar. Let's hear it for Tiya! Come on! This guy, Zeb, who loves Zeb? If you love Zeb, you gotta love Steve Blum! One of the most talented female voice actors out there, just a doll and lovely and a huge Star Wars fan. She plays Hera, Vanessa Marshall. Sure. He is Kanan. He is a Jedi. He is strong in the Force. He is Freddy Prince Jr. We have some special surprise guests because you see we got a couple extra seats here. So I want to bring out one of the producers here, one of the very important people in the world of Rebels, but also in the world of Star Wars, Mr. Simon Kinberg. Let's hear it for him. This is a new face for you. You may not know him. He's done some work on another show that was out before called Clone Wars.
He's a personal friend of mine.
And he is an amazing person in the world of Star Wars, and we have a lot to thank him for. He is Mr. Dave Filoni. One more time for our rebels here. Come on. Have a seat. Thank you all for being here and joining me on this stage. It's a small stage. We try to provide for you. I'm sorry. We got a small turnout. Hey, these are the best seats in the house. Yeah.
Lucky.
Now, some of you guys have not been to Celebration before, correct? Wow, many of you. What's it like so far? Just anybody? Anybody got a thought?
This is the first 5 seconds of it, and it's pretty crazy seeing all you guys out there, so thanks for showing up.
Good to be home. Good to be home with my family.
It's really, really big. Really big.
Now, before we dive into all of this, we have a lot to cover, and the time is going to go by fast. So, Dave, can you just kind of set the ground rules? Can you give us a little something? Tell us about season 1 and how it all kind of came together.
Well, season 1, you know, we were kind of moving beyond what we had done in Clone Wars, and we were targeting a time period, and we knew we wanted to work between episode 3 and 4. So the main theme there really was Rebels, and I think something that we all wanted to explore was, well, what about a Jedi kid that grows up and there is no Jedi Order to find him? What do they do? Kids don't stop being born with the Force just because the Empire's taken over. So we kind of formulated a story based around a boy, and Simon wanted it to be a family dynamic and living on a ship, and all the kind of things that we had grown up with in the era of A New Hope. You know, that sense of living on the Falcon, a group of friends together that felt like a family, being chased by Galactic Empire. All those things were different ingredients than we had really done on Clone Wars, which was very four-part arc, different character groups. So it just seemed a natural transition. And then by the end of it, the diabolical plan came together because I got to put Ahsoka Tano in it because she would still logically be alive. So that all worked out.
Yeah, there's that. Simon, and by the way, Simon, pleasure to meet you. This is our first meeting. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
How about you? How's this experience been for you working on this show?
Well, it's been amazing. I grew up on Star Wars. Star Wars was the reason I wanted to get into movies in the first place. So when I've been working with the Lucasfilm folks on some of the features, and they came to me because they know I have 2 boys who love animated shows and now have grown up on Clone Wars, and asked me if I wanted to get involved, and I got so excited about it and excited about working with Dave. And we really built it from the ground up, like he said, and the thing that was the most important to us, other than the time period and this notion of sort of creating a family of characters that would live on a ship together, was the tone. Was making it as much like the original films as we could, to have the humor, the humanity, sort of velocity of those original movies. That was, as much as anything story-wise, it was the vibe of the show that we spent a lot of time trying to create, and Dave did such a fabulous job with all of our artists at creating an aesthetic, a look for the show that feels like the original movies, but also has its own aesthetic to it as well, because it's based on a lot of the original art.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we like what they came up with, don't we? Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. But I want this now to be for anybody. You all jump in, your family, you can cut each other off, beat each other up, that's all right. For all of you, how does it feel to be adopted and admired by this Star Wars community? Anybody got any thoughts right off the bat?
I feel very nurtured. It's like,
amazing. Best fans in the world.
yeah, you're like one giant mother holding me. I love it. You guys are incredible.
You know, you guys got a little bit of this last year at Star Wars Weekends. And I remember that expression the first time you came out on a stage and there was, thousands of people looking and cheering for you, and you're like, what? And so this is the most loving group of people you ever find, Star Wars fans. You are wonderful fans. You so love this, it means something to you, and then you put it back on these people. So your appreciation of Star Wars has it changed much now, working in this?
For me, I mean, this scar on my chin is from playing Star Wars. So,
Really?
Yeah.
But, okay, well, you can't just say that. You got to give the story.
We bit this flagpole, not like a flagpole, a little flagpole, back and forth until it snapped. And I was Luke, my cousin Chris was Vader, and I was sliding down a slide, and the flagpole hit the ground before I did. Oh, my chin. My mom had to witness this, and she saw me get so many injuries. It literally was like, put him in a car, let's go, come on. And just threw me out. So I had the appreciation, but it's gotten real deep. Like, you do this, and I didn't start Twitter until Star Wars, and I was like, hey, I'm on this show, check it out, it's Rebels. And like in a week, I was doing full-on like Twitter role-play sessions as Kanan with like Imperials trying to kill me, and I'm like, oh, you think you're gonna kill Kanan? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Let me tweet this at you. I need more characters. Here's a second tweet. And I just jumped in, man. I love it. So thanks. If you guys are out there and you do that RP, you guys rock right on, and I'll do it with you. So there you go.
And that scar thing.
Good dungeon master in the 6th grade too.
That scar thing on his chin happened like 2 weeks ago, just so you know.
Yeah. Taylor, how about you? How's this been? I mean, new kid on the block with this character, like this young character, fresh young character.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's so fun because it's cool talking to kids and seeing what they feel about this, because they are the main people who watch the show. I mean, everyone watches the show, it seems like. But it's so fun, and it's Star Wars. Everyone loves it, which is the coolest part.
Yeah. And Tiya, your character is so strong for ladies. They love it. How is that for you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I have said this before, but I had seen the original trilogy when I was a kid, and I knew at the time that it was a big deal, but I don't think I really knew. And so once I got this job is when I went and I was like, oh, I need to do as much Star Wars homework as I possibly can. So I started watching Clone Wars. So serendipitously, it was at the same time that Clone Wars got on Netflix, and I was like, oh, this works out great. So I started watching binge watching Clone Wars. And I rewatched the original trilogy, and then I really understood, fully understood what all the fuss is about. And so I feel like I can truly say now that I am a huge Star Wars fan. And my mom, in fact, now is a huge Star Wars fan. She watches
Really?
Clone Wars on Netflix. She watches Rebels, and she calls me after every episode. She's like, I want to talk about Kanan. I want to talk about Ezra's parents, like the whole. And she said something to me which I thought was really special. She was like, you know what's great about Star Wars? You can come to it at any time in your life, and it doesn't matter where you're from or what your background is. You can come to Star Wars and be a full-fledged fan, like my mom. You know, and it's an amazing thing.
And there's no judging. We all go, oh,
Yeah.
you saw it, you like it, come here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm going to start with you, Taylor, and we're going to go down the line. On a scale from 1 to 10, on a Star Wars fan scale, where would you have rated yourself before you started the show and now?
Okay, to be honest, don't hate me. I had only seen a few of the movies. Everyone here knows it. So I'd say a solid 3.
Okay.
3.3.
And now?
Now like a 303. I'd say.
Okay. Tiya?
I'm gonna just say, based on sheer ignorance, I would be at like a 4.2, and now I'm at like a.
Got one up on him. So that's
Yeah, well, yeah. Always.
So sorry, and now? And now you are?
Oh, like what's the highest? 10?
10.
We're at a 10, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Blum.
I hate judgment. I don't like numbers. I'm not good with them. So mine is sort of a sliding scale because I had the distinction of being there opening weekend for New Hope. So that I heard gives me some credit, even though I'm completely ignorant about most things. I can't remember names. That I started with a little bit of cred going in. So I think I was solid 5 or 6 maybe,
really?
if I have to put a number on it. And now all the way up to 11, baby. All the way.
Now, Vanessa, I kind of feel I already know this, but where are you at?
Probably a 10 to begin with, and I don't think we have. It's in quantify. I mean, you can't.
No numbers.
You can't put a number on the infinity of feelings that I have. Clearly, I can't even speak. I'm so happy. Yeah, it's out. It's intergalactic.
Now, I'm going to say, when I heard you were cast as Kanan, I was really excited because I knew that you were a big Star Wars fan. So I was thinking, I was putting myself in your shoes going, he's just got to be through the moon with this. So you were, I'm guessing, a pretty high number already to begin with on the scale.
Yeah, my mom taught me at a very young age, people are going to make fun of you no matter what, so just commit to what you love and don't care what anyone says. So, applaud yourself. But yeah, so I embraced, liking the stuff I liked a long time ago. I mean, like I said, this is from Star Wars. It's not from a cool fight that I had. I'm not gonna tell you some fake story, but he got it worse than me. No, it was not. So I was an easy 10 going in, and I'm a 10 still to this day. But when Dave said this a long time ago when we first started, for my generation, this is and even older, Steve. Even though I have more gray hair than Steve does. But it's in your DNA at that point. So when you hear "May the Force be with you" as often as you hear "I love you, Mom," it works.
That's right. That's right. Now, Simon, do we need to ask? I mean,
I'd never seen a Star Wars movie until a couple of years ago. So I started a solid 1. My first memory, not of seeing a movie, but of life, was seeing New Hope.
Really?
And I waited in line and slept in a sleeping bag the night before Empire Strikes Back came out, and was on the streets of Westwood Village in a sleeping bag. So I would say I was at a solid 10,
Yes.
and if that's the max, it's never going to go up or down. I'm at a 10 for life.
okay, good. Dave, do we even need to go there?
I would say that they've all been very fair.
Yeah.
Knowing them, I think that's all true. I think of you all that way. With Taylor with the most to learn, which is just like Ezra.
Yeah.
With the Mandalorian obviously having to put herself over on the next person, which is very fair. Steve being kind of right in the middle. You're never really sure how much he knows or not.
Thank you.
This one, I don't even know what to do with.
Super dork.
You know more, and it's amazing. You could almost challenge Pablo. I don't know. He's still the king. And then we've got you, which I will say. I mean, and everybody, Simon will remember this. We had to cast Rebels very, very quickly for our production. We had to get the show up and running so fast. So we only really, at the end of the day, what should take months, we had to do it in a matter of about a week. Wow. And everyone said we couldn't do it. It was going to be really impossible. But when we had, the trials came to reads, Simon, Greg Weissman, and I were all pretty much unified. Every time we said this person, this person, this person, it was always the same people. And I just remember, especially Freddie's read, because he knew it was Star Wars, even though we had cleverly coded it something else. He just knew, I'm not sure how, it was so obvious.
Because you called the lightsaber a sun sword.
That was not me. That wasn't me. I don't know who did that. Isn't that a Thunder the Barbarian thing? But anyway, Freddie's read was instant Star Wars to me. You had the swagger that we needed for our Jedi, which is a unique role. So you nailed it. And yes, I like Star Wars very much.
Yes, you do. I'm so glad you do. Okay, you kind of really covered some of this stuff, but I have some. No, it was great. You covered some of the dynamic. That's what I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to ask you some questions, kind of towards you guys, but feel free to chime in and cut them off. Who's the jokester in this group?
Oh goodness. Jokesters, that's such a widely defined thing. I think Steve Blum, for sure, yeah, I think so.
He's the least professional in our crew.
Yes, that's another way to put it. Thank you, Freddie. I think so.
Okay.
Because I can burp on cue.
Can you give us a little burp on cue? And?
That's a crazy bar.
Life of a voice actor.
How much fun is that?
That's it? Okay. We kind of know who the Uber fan is, but Vanessa would be the Uber fan?
But I would say Freddie also, Freddie's is just a little less overt.
Freddie's like a sniper.
Well, you know in the show how you never know who was in charge. Is it Hera?
I was going to say,
Kanan? Is it Kanan? So it's kind of like that. Who knows more? Is it Vanessa? Is it Freddie? Is it Vanessa? So it's just like, they're just like the show. It's creepy.
Yeah.
Hopefully we complement each other.
We had that on Clone Wars too. It's really weird.
I know like 5 things about Star Wars really well, and then the rest of the world is like, catch him. So in my small pool, I know a lot. You get me outside that pool?
No.
Okay.
We make a good team.
Yes.
And she's an encyclopedia.
Yeah. Who's the easiest to mess with? They all look at you. Let me stand over here so somebody at least you can then look over there. I'm so sorry.
It's just so good natured he takes it.
It's out of love.
It's teaching Star Wars. That's what we call it.
Have they
teaching me Star Wars?
It's like the ultimate Padawan.
Have they pulled any tricks on you or anything? Anything you want to get them back for in front of 5,000 people?
It's too nice. We can't.
No. Okay.
You know,
We're not cruel.
Yeah, we're but
And
very sensitive.
who's always on time?
Freddie.
Not Steve.
Okay. And
Like this now.
who's often late?
Not Steve.
No. I have things to do. I'm preparing.
Yes. Okay.
One of his 8,000 voices that he does.
Yeah, and Freddie, they bring up a good point. Now, Steve and Vanessa, both wildly popular in the world of voiceover and amazing voice actors. How is this show, because with Clone Wars, we all felt instantly like a family. And it was very different than any other shows that we do. Is it the same thing for you guys here on the show now?
A gigantic family, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was an instant bond, I think. We all got along really well from the very beginning, except for me and Tiya, but other than that, see, she's not even paying attention.
No.
I love you.
And Vanessa?
Yeah, I think it was really well cast in the sense that our energies as we roam the earth pretty much match the characters. So when you put us in a room together, I'm usually feeding people, he's teaching Taylor this, that, and the thing. We're talking football like chicks who are talking dude stuff, which we normally don't.
Yeah.
And Steve's making fun, like Zeb,
Yeah.
Steve's making noises.
Now, okay.
It's a motley crew in real life too, so it's
And
great.
then for the rest of you, I mean, well, Freddie, you've done actually quite a bit of voiceover as well.
A little bit. Not like these two, but a little bit.
A lot where you're maybe more isolated, just yourself in the booth, so now you've got this whole family.
That's what makes this, I think, so special. It's like we go on a road trip once a week, right? From LA to San Francisco. It's like this 6-hour experience where we're all in an RV and we all get to hang out and do what basically is a radio show. We do the whole episode in order. So it's definitely a family vibe, whereas like for video games, when I did Iron Bowl or James Vega, that's like you're in a booth and, hey, Iron Bowl love! 2 9 live in the house. That's a creepy scene if you played the game. But yeah, so there you're just isolated and you're either reacting to someone who's pre-recorded or to nothing, and they have to react to you, which is a supporting character in a game doesn't feel right. But anyway, this is all of us in one room, and it's like Dave, like everybody says, it's a family vibe. Steve's making noises, and if you do this take, it's like the best take you've ever done, right? Kane's giving you some real emotion, and it's this powerful moment, and as soon as I'm done, only it'll be like, I'll be crying, you know what I mean? Like, I'm upset, and it's like a powerful
I don't
moment.
let them
I'm
do
talking
all their
about
scenes
former
together.
masters, and you hear,
Sometimes I kick half of them out. Sometimes I do. On the important scenes I do. That drives the rest of you nuts.
yeah.
Because then I'll be like, all right, half of you have to leave. I got to do something with just Freddie and Vanessa today and dismiss you. And then you all wonder. I will imagine you text what happened in that scene. What was going on? That was the whole thing with.
You see how Dave's a Sith Lord, right? You guys see that, right? You notice every time you ask him a question about anyone from Clone Wars, he just goes total Sith on you, right? He gives you no honest information, none. And any information he does give you is to lead you over there. When what's sparkling is over there.
There's always truth in there. There's always truth in there.
All right, Empire. All
Good and evil are a point of view, Freddie.
Yeah, okay. Filoni is Palpatine.
There was a reason we called him Master Filoni on the show. Now, for all of you, what do you feel your characters have learned over the course of the season?
Well, one, how to be a Jedi. Yeah. Which is the coolest. But he's also learned what family is, because he was so self-reliant and on his own. He's now embraced what a family is, and he now sticks up for other people, and it's been fun. But obviously the coolest is learning how to be a Jedi. And how to use a lightsaber.
And for all of us to learn while you're learning. I think that's been the greatest part of the show, hasn't it? Getting that kind of behind the scenes, and for kids experiencing Star Wars for the first time. Really great. Tiya, how about you?
I think Sabine has learned sort of how to be a little more trusting. I think this is her family presently, and was that diplomatic way to answer that.
Sometimes I'm not even sure what that means, so just spoiler alert.
I don't know anything more than what I just said. But I think, Sabine in season 1 was the first, who was the most sort of suspicious of Ezra. Like, not suspicious, but just like the least welcoming, because, Kanan and Ezra have this bond, and of course, Hera's very, maternal, and Zed's like gives him a hard time, but doesn't mind him all that much. But I think Sabine was a little trepidatious about Ezra, and so I think that over the course of time of season 1, I think she like warms up to him a little bit, stops calling him like kid, and starts actually like calling him Ezra, And so I think she kind of learns to be a little more trusting of the people that she spends all her time with.
Excellent. Well, we have so much to cover, so I'm sorry, if I can jump for a minute. Dave, some way we can kind of sum up season 1, the finale, and all of that, some thoughts, and Simon, feel free to jump in. This big
The greatest finale ever.
reaction from the fans. Let me ask you this, let me start up with this. What does the future bring?
You want me to talk about the future? They've done some great talk today, but it's always better. We spent all this time animating stuff and lighting it beautifully, my team, so it's better to look at stuff. So let's watch. Why don't you see what's to come? We're going to see it. And you haven't seen this.
No, of course not. Why would you let
I showed you the other day. I showed you at my office.
There's a big screen behind you.
You might want, yeah, you guys get down there. Mind your way. All right. So here's a look at season 2.
Things are getting worse just as they did back when I was your age. But back then, there were 10,000 Jedi Knights protecting the galaxy. Now,
There's just you and me.
we rob from the Empire, give to the needy. A noble cause.
Yeah.
I'm on my mark.
Gotcha!
Mission accomplished.
Lord Vader.
Yes, Master.
The rebels in the Lothal system. Hunt them down.
As you wish.
Fighter, coming in at Mark 3. We've lost Phoenix 1 and 2.
We will squeeze Lothal until someone reveals the whereabouts of these traitors.
For the good of Lothal, we have to leave.
All right if I tag along?
The more the merrier.
Fighting alongside soldiers isn't what I signed up for.
We are fighting a bigger fight.
We can't just run.
Ezra, we were lucky to survive. The fear, the anger, the hate. I haven't sensed a presence like that since...
The Clone Wars.
My name is Rex, Captain. 501st Clone Battalion. I fought with Commander Tano during the Clone Wars. And a friend of hers is a friend of mine.
Everyone, hang on!
Good news, we are off on an adventure.
Rex, keep those ties off our back. Working on it.
Surrender or be destroyed.
I hope you brought a better class of soldier than those stormtroopers.
They'll all be coming now.
I'm not afraid.
That's what worries me.
Your master has deceived you into believing you can become a Jedi.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Hey, lot going on here. Dave, there was a couple characters there that I recognized. It was such a privilege to be on the show as Obi-Wan in the first episodes, and that was so great. But now we have some other Clone Wars alumni, and I think they're here at Celebration. In fact, I think they're here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Eckstein and Dee. Hey, you two. Having fun? So,
I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
So have we.
how does it, now it's time for a really dumb question. How does it feel? Ashley.
Oh my goodness, well, the secret was out for me after the season 1 finale. That was a hard secret to keep. But I was recording one day in the recording studio, and in walks D. Bradley Baker. And I looked at Dave, and I mean, honestly, I looked at Dee, and I just started crying. Like, tears coming down my face, because it had been over 2 years since we recorded together, and I didn't know, where Captain Rex was. I didn't know if Ahsoka knew where he was, and yeah, and so I just started crying. I was so happy that Captain Rex was back.
Man.
Dee, tell us about that call. How'd you get that call?
Well, it kind of took my breath away, because I mean, the only hopeful thing I had was that Rex hadn't been killed off in the Clone Wars, and so there was still some hope of that coming back into the story. So I was more than thrilled, because I want to, I want to see what this guy's still got in him, and I think the fans are really going to see that, along with a few of his clone friends. I guess I'm not going to tell you much more about that. I'll leave that to you to tell you more of the details. But
look at those guys.
As you saw, to see these fellows going up, these old lions going up an Imperial Walker is it's pretty awesome. But to me, more importantly, I mean, this is a very exciting trailer as someone who loves Star Wars in the old way, and as well as in the new manifestations. I mean, it looks just fantastic, and it feels fun and energetic. It's got the drama and the fun, the life that the cast already brings to it, and it is very exciting.
It is
what
exciting.
is coming up.
And in fact, it's so exciting, I know that there are people here that would love to ask you all questions. So is it all right if we take some questions from this council right here?
And one more thing I want to say before we get to that is, because I appreciate you guys loving the trailer and something. I try to keep so many parts of Clone Wars alive in different ways. It's not just important to you guys, they're people I work with, they're important to me. Every trailer I ever did on Star Wars, Clone Wars, and now Rebels has been done by my personal friend Kevin Yost. We used to get together and play Star Wars role-playing game before we ever had jobs at Lucasfilm together. So I always make sure that Kevin's personally responsible for these type of cinematic trailers. And I just think, once again, for your reaction, Kev, if you're here, you've done a phenomenal job. Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Out there.
Yes, I'm over here. I have Lori from Tennessee.
Okay, hey Lori.
Hi everybody. Huge fan. Love the show. My first celebration. My husband comes all the time. We leave me at home because I have to stay with the kids. This is for Freddie. Huge fan. Years. You're actually the reason I've forsaken my children to come. Is there any way you would possibly sign my book?
Yeah, of course. Come on.
I just want to know how many women have told that to Freddie before. Like 1,000.
I tried it earlier, he would have none of it.
You have to have Freddy Prince Jr. shoes.
Yeah. No, look at go. Okay, hey, while he's doing that, let's jump.
Come over here,
What do you
James.
got over there?
All right, what's your name?
My name is Kevin.
All right, what's your question?
I work with Sales One. We're a jewelry designer. We have a Star Wars license, and we have a prototype of Chopper, and I just wanted to give it to Dave.
Wow, this is just like Love Fest here.
We're doing business here.
Yeah, you want to bring it over here? We're slowly disbanding the cast. into the audience. That's nice.
I'm going to tweet a picture of the of Freddie signing for this woman so that her children can see on Twitter what mommy's doing right now.
Elliot, who do you got there?
I have Alec from California.
Okay, what's the question?
I just have a question for Steve, Dee, and James, all the other voice actors. I want to get into this industry. I've done a couple of auditions, and I just want to know, like, what tips can you give me?
Go to iwanttobeavoiceactor.com.
Yes, I made a website that's for anybody interested in voice acting as an amateur or maybe as a professional. It's all free and it's everything I think about voice acting. It's called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. It's completely free and it's just me yammering on and on. I think it's got some good info, so good luck.
Okay. I've got we've got the best seats in the house here, and I thought I should ask them if they have any questions. You do? Oh, thank you, Mark. We have a question right here. What is your name?
Connor.
Connor, what's your question for them?
This is for Dave. How did Captain Rex and all the other clones there, how did they survive? Like, how did they get past? How did they get past not killing when Kanan and Ezra come, not killing them after Order 66?
That's what I'm more used to. And you see, I say this every celebration, it all comes in a package about this tall, smiling faces, innocent looks. You think, oh, probably fun question. How crazy is Chopper? Oh, no. How did Rex survive? Well, this panel doesn't have enough time for me to explain the full depth of that story. Disappointing 4,000 people makes my day. I will say that, like, probably when I perceived it, and we went back and forth towards the end of Clone Wars with Rex's fate. George and I had several conversations about it. There were a lot of things that once I knew George was still at the company that I made sure he and I sat down and we discussed at length. There were a couple key topics. One was Rex, and definitely the other was Ahsoka. How did they survive? Do they survive? What happens there? We had everything mapped out right up through Revenge of the Sith. So I know in detail why that is. I'll give you something because you're here on the weekend. But if you've watched the season 6 episodes on Netflix with the clone arc where Fives discovers the nature of the encoding that they have chip in their head. You have to remember that Fives tells Rex about that, and Fives would believe another trooper. So even though it's outlandish to Anakin that Palpatine's in charge, he actually says it to Anakin and Rex right in front of them. Fives accuses everybody. So I always felt that truth can break any spell. It's an old mythological idea that in a fairy tale, if you know the truth, you can kind of break these evil spells if your heart is true. And you have to imagine if Rex got to that point and had a blaster raised, I don't think he could do it. What would be hard for Rex, and you can wrap your head around this, is the minute Rex wouldn't execute his general, he becomes a traitor as well. And the other clones will gun down the traitor clones. So that was something we had also discussed. So that's a bit of a look at that. And you'll see, just to give you this other tease, because if you haven't thought this through, we all love Rex. Kanan, not so much. It's pretty clear why. So, okay.
Everybody here
that's more than I ever give you. It's more than I ever give you.
Get a milkshake, because you just got more than Dave ever gives ever.
Okay, Mark, you're right here, yeah.
Got a guy from Canada, what's your name again?
Matt.
Matt, what's your question, Matt from Canada?
This actually is towards Freddie and Dave, because barring Mara Jade, my favorite character in Star Wars now is Barn on Kanan, aka Caleb Doom. And yes, I read A New Dawn in the comics. It's fantastic. It's a great read. But it was going back to season 1. It was during the Temple episode with Taylor as well. And when Yoda, Frank Oz, came back and he was talking to the both of you, from an acting perspective and also maybe from a story perspective, when Yoda starts talking to him, he says, "Oh, you've taken a master now." And it's like, would you consider Yoda anointing him unofficially a Jedi Knight? And would Kanan perceive that as a knighting? And if he did or didn't, does he think, "I'm not ready for this position to be a Jedi Knight"? Or does he say it's like, "Well, sometimes I have to step up and do it because I got a kid right here learning how to use a lightsaber"?
You're awesome, by the way.
There's only one way to top that first question.
Does he have a follow-up question too?
It's funny, everybody's laughing at you, but don't take it personally because I asked the exact same question to Dave and asked if I could speak with Pablo. So Dave and I kind of discussed this. I don't know how much factual information we can give you without spoiling some of the stuff that Kanan's going to have to go through. I will tell you this. If we're staying true to the sort of 5 trials, I wouldn't say that Kanan is even halfway there, me personally. If you want to say that his test of courage is complete, or the test of flesh, I don't remember what the name of that one is, I'm just calling it flesh. Maybe you can argue those two, but it could be something that we could debate. But I can't, and I don't think Dave would tell you much either unless you get this kid to ask. If you get too much of a sense of where Kanan's at, then you lose some of the magic of where he's going to go. But I would say if you want to count 2 of the 5, you might be able to. Probably 1 for sure.
All right, excellent. Okay. You've got one right here. Oh, don't be fooled, Dave.
Those are the most dangerous ones. She's even smaller.
Let's see. Hello, my dear. What's your name?
Eliza.
What's your question, Eliza? Oh. Don't disappoint Eliza.
Who does Chopper's voice in the movie?
Your microphone. Question. Yeah.
I got you all done. Hang on.
It's a Jedi sidebar.
I told her the truth.
Okay, Elliot, where
I have Davey from Indiana.
Right, go for it.
Hey, thank you all for doing this panel. Rebels is great. There is an interesting poster of Ahsoka facing off with Vader. Can you shed any light on their relationship in season 2 and if they face off?
Are you gonna whisper that one in here too?
You kind of hoping people would ask to sign something right now?
Well, I'll try to give you as best an answer as I can. Ahsoka and Vader was the topic that George and I discussed, specifically. I asked him exactly what you're asking me now. And I said, what would that be like? What does she know? What would she know? So, let's just say that it's part of the story that we have to tell you. Let's just say that.
Right over here,
Okay.
Ryan. I'm with Ryan from Moreno Valley. What's your question, Ryan?
Hi guys, thanks for being here. My question is for Dave. Is there any hope that at some point we can see the return of Cad Bane?
Well, what's exciting to me though is that Rex is back. Hondo's back. Did you see Hondo? What was really important, and Simon and I discussed this in the beginning, there's Hondo talking about Rebels, is that we wanted the cast of Rebels to have their space, we wanted the characters to have their space. they had to own this time period. It's really, and this is important, I think, for everybody to remember, it's really the story of this crew, Ezra's evolution as Jedi Knight Kanan. So it's that story. If we found a way to include characters from the past, then those character moments are important for the story that we're telling now. They're passing into the story through the story. So I think we have to be very careful about which characters we bring into Rebels, period. And that includes the classic trilogy and the prequel trilogy as well. You worry about having this small universe, and even when we think we're being good at it, you know, I noticed a series of episodes we had Yoda, Lando, and then Tarkin not long after. And that's like, you know, I think it played off well, but we are very conscious that we don't want it to seem like a stream of guest appearances. It has to be vital to the story, and luckily I think we find ways to do that. So if it made sense, the answer would, you know, if he's alive, of course, yes. But anything could happen to a bounty hunter, I don't know. Cad was crazy, and I don't know where, you know.
Voiced by the amazing Corey Burton, by the way, who was the voice of Count Dooku, Zero the Hutt, and so many others. Just fascinating, wonderful stuff. And Jim Cummings coming back as Hondo. Gotta give a shout out to the amazing Jim Cummings. I think we have time for one more question, Elliot.
Yes. Here we go. What's your name? This is Axel, and he has a question. Here we go.
Why is Darth Vader not dead yet? Because didn't all the movies, I mean, the Star Wars Rebels episodes come out of all the movies?
Simon, you wanna take this one? You're a Star Wars expert.
Why isn't Darth Vader dead? This, you know, we take place before New Hope, so Darth Vader.
I think it's one of these things where, you know, because some people, especially someone younger like Axel, is being introduced to Star Wars in a world now. It is one of the things you have to kind of juggle, don't you, with the show?
Yeah, I mean, you know, one of the things we talked about from the beginning, and it was the first impulse, was that we wanted the show to take place between the prequels and the original trilogy, which is confusing because I know for a lot of kids, actually, they see the prequels first. Sure. But for us, it was wanting to take place right before, at the beginning of the Rebels, of the Alliance, right before Episode 4. So the Darth Vader that you know from the original movies, this is just before those movies take place, and his sort of rise into ultimate power.
I think that's what's really exciting about what we just saw. This is as close to Anakin as you're going to get. This is right after Episode 3 in our brains here so much, and he is in his prime. So thank you for that. And let's hear it one more time for our Star Wars Rebels. Taylor Gray, Sircar, Steve Blum, Vanessa Marshall, Freddy Prince Jr, Simon Kinberg, and Dave Filoni. Thank you all so much. Enjoy your time here at Star Wars Celebration. And may the Force be with you. Let's hear it for